Hello everyone, welcome to Services classes. So in this video we are going to start with some of the question series from the Indian Economic Service 2022. Yes, so this question is directly from the general paper 1. Yes, that is group A. Now this question they have asked you to distinguish between partial equilibrium and general equilibrium. Okay, so partial equilibrium and general equilibrium approaches. So let's quickly talk about partial equilibrium and general equilibrium. Whenever we are talking about partial equilibrium, that means we are talking about the ceteris paribus condition. Ceteris paribus condition is other factors remaining constant, right? So if we take an example of our demand and supply model in microeconomics, where we only study the quantity demanded and the price of the product, whereas all other factors that can actually impact this price and quantity demanded decision are all held constant. For example, price of substitutes, price of complements, income of the consumer, taste and preferences. So these are the factors that can actually influence the quantity demanded or bought by the consumer, right? So just in order to study the dependency between two variables, whereas the remaining variables are kept constant, that is our partial equilibrium analysis. But when we are talking about general equilibrium, that means we are studying all the markets, all the conditions simultaneously. That is, everything depends on everything else. So there is nothing called other factors constant or anything. So it is a simultaneous process of considering all the influences. That is, here the markets or the factors that are dependent. So here the markets are interdependent, linked, and everything influence everything other. So that is our general equilibrium approach. And ceteris paribus, where only we study the two variables while the remaining are constant, that is our partial equilibrium. Now let's see where we can use partial equilibrium analysis and general equilibrium analysis. Okay, so basically partial equilibrium analysis क्या हो जाता है कि यहाँ पे हम लोग कोई पर्टिकुलर मार्केट या पर्टिकुलर एक सेक्टर के बारे में बात करते हैं, तो जब भी ऐसा कोई मार्केट हो जो कि सेल्फ कंटेन्ड या फिर इंसुलेटेड या आइसोलेटेड हो, मतलब कि उसका दूसरे चीज पे उतना ज्यादा इफेक्ट ना हो, वैसे पे हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, वी कैन यूज दिस, राइट? So here it is self-contained or insulated from other markets, or when the market is in question is relatively small relative to the size of the economy, or when the cross effects generally by the particular market are negligible and hence can be ignored. So जो भी ऐसा टेक्निक हो जहाँ पे अगर मार्केट साइज बहुत ही छोटा हो कंपेयर टू द इकोनॉमी, कि एक का इम्पैक्ट ज्यादा ना पड़े दूसरे पे, या फिर कोई आइसोलेटेड सेल्फ कंटेन्ड मार्केट हो, इस टाइप के पोजीशंस में अगर हम लोग को कोई एनालिसिस करना है तो हम लोग पार्शियल इक्विलिब्रियम एनालिसिस कर सकते हैं. लेकिन हमें पता है कि जब बहुत बड़ा मार्केट हो और वहां पे एक चीज होता है जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट्स, राइट? स्पिल ओवर. तो स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट्स का मतलब क्या हो जाता है? स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट्स मतलब रिपरकशन, मतलब आपने कुछ किया, एक्शन के बदले रिएक्शंस, इंटरडिपेंडेंसी, लिंक, कनेक्शन दूसरे मार्केट का एक मार्केट के ऊपर. सो इस वजह से वैसे सिचुएशन में पार्शियल इक्विलिब्रियम एनालिसिस अगर हम लोग करेंगे तो उसका जो रिजल्ट है दैट विल नॉट बी एप्रोप्रिएट. तो हमें वहां पे पार्शियल इक्विलिब्रियम एनालिसिस नहीं, जनरल इक्विलिब्रियम एनालिसिस ही करना चाहिए. तो ये जो स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट्स है, स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट्स के चलते जो क्या हो जाता है कि हमारा पार्शियल इक्विलिब्रियम एनालिसिस जो है इनएप्रोप्रिएट और इनएडिक्वेट हो जाता है. तो तब हमारा जो रिजल्ट होता है, अगर हम लोग पार्शियल इक्विलिब्रियम एनालिसिस करें तो मिसलीडिंग रिजल्ट्स हो सकते हैं, राइट? तो अगर जो मार्केट है, जो सेक्टर है, वो बहुत छोटा हो, उसके बहुत फ्यू लिंकेजेस हो कि स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट पॉसिबल ना हो, तो हम लोग पार्शियल इक्विलिब्रियम आराम से उस मार्केट सिस्टम में ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं. नहीं तो वी हैव टू यूज आवर general equilibrium analysis. So this is our distinction between partial equilibrium and general equilibrium approaches. दूसरा क्वेश्चन जो है यहाँ पे ग्रुप ए से वो है the social optimal output occurs when marginal social benefits equal marginal social cost. Examine this statement. यानी कि social optimality condition यानी कि जो efficient output है economic का वो उसी point पे produce होता है जहाँ पे marginal social benefit is exactly equals to the marginal social cost. तो चलिए इसको हम लोग समझ लेते हैं externality से. That is हमारा positive externality के केस में क्या होगा और negative externality के केस में क्या होगा. So in order to understand this, in front of you is a diagram. About negative externality, right? So in case of negative externality, what happens in case of negative externality? The private marginal benefit and social marginal benefit denoted by the same, that is the demand curve. So we have one single demand curve which represent both the social marginal benefit and the private marginal benefit. But the supply curve, that is the marginal cost curve for the private and the social is different. So this is our private marginal cost curve and this is our social marginal cost curve. Why is it so? So in negative externality, we ignore the negative effect on third party. What do you mean by ignoring the negative effect on third party? That is, I am an industrialist, I am producing or manufacturing, so I have this particular industry factory where I am producing to meet my private profits, benefits without caring about what waste materials and pollution that I'm causing in the environment. So that is the third party negative externality which I am ignoring here. So that is why the marginal cost of the industrialist, the private cost, whereas the marginal cost of society, that is the social welfare, they are different in negative externality. So that is why we have two different curves, one representing the private marginal cost, another one is the social marginal cost. Now let's see how this equilibrium point, that is our efficient point, we can achieve. Now in this diagram, since this is my demand curve and this is the supply curve of private marginal cost, so this is the point of demand is equals to supply of the industrialist, that is the private marginal cost is equals to private social cost. So this is the free market equilibrium. Okay, so at free market equilibrium, if this much output is produced, this is produced solely to meet the private benefits, profits, not taking into account the problem caused in the society. So as you can see from this diagram, it is very clear that if this much is produced Q1, so here the private benefit is exactly equals to private cost. But if we talk about social cost, then social marginal cost is more than the private marginal cost. That means this is not good for the society. What is the correct amount or the perfect amount? That is, if the production reduces, if I start taking care of the environment, the pollution parameter, etc., then as an industrialist, apart from my own profit, I will also start to take care of the pollution that I am infusing in the environment, the damage that I am actually creating in the environment. So I have to control it. So what is the way I can reduce my production from Q1 to Q2? And at this production level, you can see that here is the equilibrium where socially the cost is exactly equals to the benefit. Marginal cost is exactly equals to benefit. So this is our social efficient output. That is the condition. So what is the condition from here? We have derived that social marginal benefit is equals to social marginal cost. So this is what you require for the efficient production. Now another point of view is when we were here, that is at this point producing Q1, well, we were ignoring the negative externality. So this shaded area is the dead weight loss to the society. But as the production is decreased from Q1 to Q2, you can see that the deadweight loss, that is the loss to the society, is also decreased, and here is the socially efficient amount of quantity produced. So this type of negative externality can be controlled in terms of government intervention through taxes, etc. So but here we are asked to show that this is the condition, so here is the explanation with the diagram. The same goes for the positive externality. For positive externality, so here what we mean is that we ignore any good impact on the third party. Okay, positive externality means say vaccination. Okay, so if you are getting vaccinated, that means you are going to benefit it, you yourself is going to get benefited, but also you are helping from you're stopping the disease from spreading in the society, so you're helping the society. So this is positive externality. So in this type we ignore that effect. Okay, we here, that is why what happens is initially the free market equilibrium is given by this point. Okay, where as you can see this is the private marginal benefit and this is the private marginal cost, and these are equal here. So that is equilibrium, that is free market equilibrium. Okay, one more thing here is about the demand and supply curve. So here since this is creating positive externality, so society would want it more. So the demand curve for the private, from the private point of view and the social point of view are different, unlike the negative externality diagram, right? So that is why social marginal benefit curve, that is this one is on the right side of the private marginal benefit curve, and the supply curve is identical, that is PMC is equals to SMC, that is private marginal cost is exactly equals to the social marginal cost. Okay, now coming back to this point here. So according to the free market equilibrium, that is the production and supply, that is demand and supply is going to be equal at this point. So Q1 should be the amount of production. Now what is happening at this point? Let's see. So at this point, from the social point, society's point of view, right, social point of view, so this point says that this is your social marginal cost, but your social marginal benefit should be here, right? But you are producing here, that means this red rectangle, which I am also actually shading with the green one, so this is the deadweight loss to the society, because the benefit should be here but they are not, but here, so this is the loss, right? This loss can be minimized if the production is increased. So if the private that is the free market equilibrium is satisfied and production is taking place at Q1, then there is a loss to the society, because social marginal cost, social marginal benefit is greater than social marginal cost at Q1. So increase production from Q1 to Q2. If we do that, now say if we are at Q2, then this is the point. Okay, let me change the color, right? So this is the point, right? This is Q2. That means here social marginal benefit is exactly equal to social marginal cost. So from the society's point of view, now you have minimized your loss, right? Now only this much is the society's loss at this price, right? Because of the increase in price. But this is now the society is not facing loss because of more production and more benefit, that is positive externality. So here this is the efficient point or the socially optimum point, right? So what is the condition then again here? That is SMC is equals to SMB, that is social marginal cost of product cost is exactly equals to social marginal benefit. Okay, so this was the case for positive externality, and this condition holds for your optimality condition, efficiency condition, and similarly as we have discussed above that under negative externality also this is the condition that holds, that is SMB is equals to SMC. Again, and the negative externality, this can be fixed, that is we can obtain the efficient condition, that is the optimal condition, if government intervenes by means of taxation. Similarly, in case of positive externality where production should be increased, so that we can reach the efficient point, that is the optimal point. In that case, government can intervene in terms of giving subsidies, right, for producing more. So this is the answer.